Can I tell y'all what's on my
lonely.
mind?
See you at the crossroads, so you won't
Can we
be
get a couple of things off
alone.
my chest?
See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. I'm gonna miss everybody. I'm gonna miss everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna miss everybody. Let me go ahead and drink some of this Michelob Ultra. You know what I'm saying? Pour a little bit liquor into my mouth for the dead homies. Cause I know my homies not wasteful. I know my homies wouldn't want me to pour it out. All right. But damn, it's your brother, it's your cousin, it's your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son. It's your kinfolk, William Jewell, L, giving you my detail as I'm articulating. This is articulating rap, rap, rap. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn all the notifications on so you can get all the new content, all the new posts when I make them, all the new clips. Right, and thank y'all for y'all support. Thank y'all for just tuning in. Right, we trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Right, you know sometimes that beer make you burp a little bit. That carbonation make you burp a little bit, and I think that's why I like it. Right, I think that's why I like it. I love it. You know, I've been drinking beer since my freshman year of college, and it's just one of those things that I just really enjoy. Like as a youngin', I drank a lot of soda, and then once I started playing ball in college, I was just more water, more juice, more sugar-free things, no more soda. But one thing that I loved, that had that carbonation in it, was beer. The light beer, the Bud Lights, the Coors Lights, the Michelob Ultra, the Miller Lights, the Dos Equis, the Coronas, the Modelos, right? Those type of things, you hear me? Right, but see you at the crossroads, man. We got to talk about music, right? The crossroads, YBN Cordae, or should I say Cordae, or should I say Naomi Osaka's baby daddy. He released an album this week, The Crossroads, and I wouldn't say it was highly anticipated, but I would say it was needed, for that generation that he's in, because I kind of liken him to another version of JID, another version of the leaders of the new school, another version of one of the young guys that's supposed to push that culture forward. And I like what he's doing. Right? I like what he's doing from the positivity standpoint. I like what he's doing from the lyricism standpoint, from the freestyles to the teaming up with the legends to just showing them homage, to showing them respect. I like what he's doing from the independent perspective, from trying to, navigate this music industry in his own way. And pretty much like you gotta respect that, right? You gotta respect that, and that's why like I can't, knock this album, right? Because this is a good album. And to be honest, like I really be trying to like break shit down to y'all in my mind. I really be trying to break shit down to y'all in my mindset, my mind state, just kind of let y'all know what I think about things. Because like I'm not gonna be agreeable with the masses of the industry. I'm not gonna be agreeable with everybody, saying what they saying, because I don't have those relationships. I don't have those connections that I need to protect. So I'm clearly gonna be unfiltered when I'm talking about these things, and sometimes these things need that type of analysis. And so YBN Cordae, or should I say Cordae, The Crossroads, right? The production was great. And usually when I hear the production in the album, that lets me know that the production is great. When I hear more of the rapper, more of the song, more of the music instead of the beats, instead of the samples, that lets me know that the production is there. But when I hear that production and it's vivid and it's clear and it provides clarity and it provides that elevation of sound, and it hits me at certain frequencies, it hits me at certain wavelengths, that the samples, the beats, just the drums, just everything about the production was superb, right? And then we go to the features, and then we talk about Lil Wayne twice. We talk about Anderson .Paak twice. We talk about Juicy J. We talk about Ty Dolla $ign, right? We talk about Joey Badass. We talk about these guys that's giving this project life, that's breathing, that's, you know what I'm saying, giving this project that resuscitation, that's bringing it to life, that's giving it air in its lungs. Lil Wayne, right? We heard the Saturday mornings. We know about that song, so classic, in the summertime. Right, we know about Anderson .Paak, but they gave us more songs. They gave us more music. Right, and they did a favor for Cordae. They really did a lot of things for Cordae. And to be honest, just to know that they did these type of favors for Cordae, that they was willing to be featured in this certain way, shows me that they got love for Cordae, that they think this guy is somebody that deserves that platform, that guy is somebody that deserves this pedestal. But the flow, the voice, it got a little bit sleepy. It hypnotized me. It made me go to sleep, made me want to have a little bit shut eye, made me want to crawl into my sleeping bag in the camp out and put water on the fire, douse the flames, and just sleep in the cold, shivering, because this voice could not keep me warm. Right? This voice could not keep me warm. Because that's my knock on Cordae, right? I said he sounds like a local artist because his voice is very monotone of sorts. He can go to a little bit of melody. He showed he could go to a little bit of melody in this album. He showed he could do a couple of other flows, but for the most part, right? For the most part, it was pretty much basic, right? It was pretty much that same Cordae flow, no melodies really, right? And the features on every project, on every, you know what I'm saying, song outshine him because you got tired of listening to his voice. And then when the features came on, that was the refreshing part about this project. So that would be my critique on Cordae, right? That would be my critique. Like, use your voice more of an instrument. Don't get lazy. Don't get too content with how your voice sounds, right? You ain't gotta be no Kendrick Lamar, like, but even J. Cole, even Drake, even J.I.D., like the greats, when we talk about the people that know how to flow and know how to get some excitement into their voice to keep people engaged, those are the guys that you need to study. And although it seems like YBN Cordae has been hanging around the greats, it seems like he hasn't been studying enough because he hasn't been using this method. And to me, that's a little bit disappointing. So I feel like he needs to venture out with his flows, venture out with his cadences, and just venture with his tones and going high and going low and using some different effects because it can get boring, it could get stagnant, it could get repetitive, it could get monotonous, it could get same old, same old. Like Cordae, like lyrically, he's great. Like, I like what he's saying, I like what he's spitting, but sometimes the passion in his voice, it becomes, like I said, monotonous. It becomes the same old, and like, I need to hear a little bit more from him. I need to hear a little bit more variety out of how he's trying to, project his viewpoint, his perspective, his heart, onto his listeners. And I feel like he can't really project his heart when that heartbeat is kind of staying the same, right? We need that heart rate to go up into that target heart rate zone. We need that heart rate to go up into that cardiovascular zone. Something to get your blood pumping, something to make you sweat a little bit. But this is not making us sweat a little bit. This is not making us feel like we've exerted any type of energy. This is kind of, lower frequency, lower level. And I need a little bit more, a little bit low, a little bit high, a little bit low. And so, I mean, that's kind of why I got kind of bored with the album. Some people like that type of flow, right? But for me personally, I don't like that flow, right? I don't like that shit. Right? I need more of entertainment. I need more engagement. I need more passion. And your voice tells me about your passion. And to me, like, it seems like he was passionate about what he was talking about, but his voice just kind of like got to where it was so boring, it just didn't seem believable. Right? And if you think about it, you did two features with Wayne, you did two features with Anderson Paak, you did a feature with Juicy J. Like, I feel like people see Cordae as that next guy in line. It should be JID. It should be Cordae. It should be Joey Badass. It should be some of these new guys that's taking the mantelpiece from the Drakes, from the Coles, from the Kendricks. And these guys are not doing enough to step into their plate. Even with JID. Right, he's not releasing enough. He's not being featured enough on certain songs. He's not being showcased. He's not being marketed like he needs to be. And I feel like JID is not being marketed like he needs to be. But I feel like JID is doing what he needs to do from a skill set standpoint. All these other guys, I feel like they're not doing what they need to do from a flow, from a cadence, from a performing standpoint. And Cordae, he's doing his thing on Instagram. He's giving us good visuals. He's doing his thing, but these are the things I feel like that's kind of missing within him. And that's the flow and the cadence, right? And so if he want to get to that next level, I feel like he going to have to reach a little bit more in his bag. He going to have to develop more of a repertoire. He's going to have to increase his skill set. He's going to have to show his fans and show new fans that he wants it. Right? Because it feel like he's doing what he thinks is comfortable. He's not taking the risk. Right? He's giving you good production. He's giving you good features, but flowing wise and rapping wise and song wise, he's not taking a risk. He's keeping it safe, and sometimes safe is not the place to be. So, shout out to Cordae. Keep doing your thing. I think this is a good album, but the reasons I stated prior is why it's not a great album, because he didn't perform himself. The features came to play, the production came to play, but he stayed, outside of the playground. He was at recess, right? But he didn't get on the monkey bars. He didn't get on the swings. He didn't get on the jungle gym. Right? So, Cordae, this is my message to you. This is my critique to you. Step it up. Step it up and let's get going, because you're supposed to be one of those guys. You got the messaging of one of those guys. You got the posture. You got the methods. You got the smarts. You got what you need. You got the resources. So you need to be one of them guys, because we need other guys that are young, that are youthful to carry on this mantelpiece, right? To carry on this platform. And I got to go to Mike Tyson, or should I say Bike Tyson and Jake Paul, or should I say Fake Paul? Because my prediction was right. I predicted that this was going to be a money grab. I predicted that these guys wanted the money and they were going to get on the boxing ring and act like it was a scripted play, right? Jake Paul would win because it's way more beneficial for his career to beat Mike Tyson, and now more people are going to hate him. And since more people are going to hate him, more people are going to pay to see him lose. And since more people are going to pay to see him lose, his career will be extended. He will be able to fight more people. He will be able to put more butts in the seats. He will be able to get more deals done depending on who he wants to fight. Fakey P, Fake Paul, Snake Paul slithering in the grass like the little copperhead that he is. I know who you are, and Mike Tyson, you should be ashamed of yourself. Mike, are you broke? Did you really need this money? And you got on the interview telling this little girl it's not about legacy, it's not about ego. What about legacy? When you die, no. Because when you die, people gonna still talk about your name. People still gonna remember your legacy. Think about all the people that think about mama mentality when they think about Kobe. He's gone, he's dead, but people still remember his legacy. You trying to deny your legacy? Don't deny your legacy. You doing yourself a disservice. You disrespecting your legacy. You disrespecting what you mean to the people. You disrespecting your inspiration, your motivation. You disrespecting all the hard work that you put in to get here. Saying when you dead, it's all gone, it's all dust. Motherfucker, get your mind right, old ass motherfucker. Old ass nigga. Old ass Mike Tyson talking about legacy don't mean shit. Trying to let us know that he's going to tank. Trying to let us know that he's going to take a nosedive. That he's going to torpedo off the diving board and do a fucking cannonball. Mike Tyson, sit your old ass down. And that's why I didn't want to see this. Because you tarnish your name. You tarnish your legacy. No matter if you care about it or not, there's going to be people that's still talking about you when you're dead and gone. There's going to be clips out there about your fight. Everybody knows about Mike Tyson. Don't do that bullshit to make yourself feel good, to massage your ego. When people denying their legacy, you massage your ego. You trying to make yourself feel good. Right? Because you don't want to accept your flaws. You want to accept the accountability that comes with the full extent of having a legacy. Right? And I use Kobe Bryant as an example because his legacy is not squeaky clean. Right? I use Kobe Bryant because his teammates didn't like him. Because of what happened in Denver, Colorado. I use Kobe Bryant because even after that, he still pushed through all the adversity. Even after that, he still overcame. Even after prison, Mike, you still became a champion. Even after the drug use and abuse, you still reinvented yourself. You still evolved. And you want to deny your legacy? Boy, that's God-given. You want to deny your legacy. Because a white man, you allowed a white man to put hands on you and beat you up because you wanted to get a check. And I'm glad you wasn't hurt. I'm glad you wasn't hurt. And I'm not mad at you doing this. I just didn't like what you said about your legacy. I'm not mad at you doing this because Fake Paul was going to do this with someone else if it wasn't you. I wasn't mad that you got a check, but stop acting like you wasn't trying to get a check. Stop acting like you really gave it your all. Mike, you know what you were doing in that ring. And I appreciate the slap, right? The slap is probably the most iconic thing that came from this fight, right? The slap. When he stepped on the toe, the slap was the most iconic thing that came from this fight. And Jake Paul, you're a marketing genius, brother. I talk about you. I roast you. I say you're not a real fighter, but you're a real businessman. You're a real marketing expert. You've been able to put butts in the seats for years. And I'm sure you're going to be able to do this for years to come. So, Jake Paul, I can't deny your greatness either. And in the realm of wherever you choose to exist. Because this is the strategy of another great. The same strategy that Jake Paul is using right now. This is the same strategy that Money Mayweather used when he was building up his legacy even more. People hated Money Mayweather, so they would pay to see him lose, not knowing they were paying to see him win because he was that great of a fighter. So people come to pay to see Jake Paul lose, not knowing that he's already scripted, he's already rigged these fights to win. So more people are going to pay to see him lose after this fight, right? Because he beat Mike Tyson, you don't think he developed any more enemies? More people that loved Mike and saw him go out like that are going to hate Jake Paul even more because he did that to an old man. Now, those people are going to be customers of Jake Paul's, paying to see him get beat by somebody they think that can beat him, but he will not lose. Right, he lost to Tommy Fury just to prove that he was a legitimate boxer, just to prove that he's not going to win every match to make it seem believable. But Jake Paul, he's not a real fighter, right? But he is a real businessman, a real marketing genius, and he's great on social media. So you got to show Jake Paul some love. And, we got to worry about Netflix, when they do these live events, right? Because that was the main thing about this recording, was how Netflix dropped the ball, and some of the lagging, some of the buffering, and it just made for a lower quality product. And Netflix has done so many comedian specials live. I don't know why this going live didn't work out. And maybe because they did those comedian specials live, but they was more already recorded and it showed live. Right, because ain't no way like that buffering happened during that Mike Tyson fight, Jake Paul fight, and it didn't happen during these comedians live specials. Or maybe it was just so many people tuning into the fight that, it caused the portal to kind of mess up, to kind of buffer. So Netflix, I love Netflix. I watch Netflix. I'm an avid fan of Netflix. That's the first streaming site that I bought. So just get it together. I want people to tune into Netflix, and I want Netflix to be that one-stop shop, right? Because now I can delete all my other subscriptions. So Netflix, continue to do what you're doing so we can have that one-stop shop. But man, get your shit right, Netflix. And another thing that's kind of sad to see, right, other than Mike Tyson going out like he did with Jake Paul, is Kodak Black. Like Kodak Black, he said things about black women, right? Kodak Black, he's been ignorant on a lot of topics, and he's spoken out his ass, and he's said some things that I guess some people forgive, some people forget. But Kodak Black, to me, he's not responsible with the things he says. And he's just not appreciative of his freedom. He's not appreciative of where he's at right now. And maybe because that is because of the drug addiction. And the thing about Kodak Black, I don't feel sorry about Kodak Black. Right? The same way none of these people feel sorry about the celebrities, because you got everything you need to survive in life. Yeah, you got fame. Yeah, you got to deal with people, but at the same time, right, that's a good problem to have. Right? You got money. That's a good problem to have. But you're spending your money on drugs. You're spending your time on drugs, right? And you're not taking full advantage of your opportunities. And the thing with Kodak Black is just one of those polarizing figures that he's kind of like Boosie in a sense, not the drug addiction part, but he just stays relevant because of his antics, because of who he is, because of what he says. And so people always tune into his music, right? People, the Kodak Black fans, they're not going away anytime soon. He's developed that fan base that's here to stay, right? But when I listen to Kodak Black, right, I like Kodak Black. But it's hard for me to listen to something new when I know this is a drug addict, right? When I see the images, when I see the person like wilding out, like I don't even want to have no parts of that. Because why would I listen to that junky music? Why would I listen to a crackhead music? Like, why would I listen to a pill popping music? Like, why would I listen to your messaging when your messaging is diluted? Like, sometimes when people on drugs, like, they can go to that euphoric mindset to where they can think above and beyond. But this is not that type of music. This is that music where you're rapping, you're talking about streets, you're talking about the consequences, you're talking about the actions, you're talking about getting results, you're talking about your ego, you're talking about the women, the money, the cars, the clothes, you're talking about all those things. And I know how you're performing and how you're acting outside of that studio and that booth is not conducive to being able to keep those things, is not conducive to being able to garner those things and appreciate those things that you have. So it kind of sways my mindset when I listen to Kodak. So the Kai Sinat stream, when he was going crazy, when he was going buck wild, and people say, "Damn, Kai should have took him off. He shouldn't have been looking like that." No, let the world see how he acting. Let the world see, what one of your favorite artists is looking like. Let the world see what he's doing. Like, no, you know, because Donald Trump protected him, right? A lot of people tried to protect him. A lot of people tried to help him. But I don't believe in, trying to protect this image when you're blatantly going out and showing this image, showing this part of yourself to everybody who wants to see you. Right? And so that's why I don't feel sorry for Kodak. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel sorry for the junkies. A lot of people, oh, that, oh, he's been through a lot, oh, he's just going through so much, oh, he's dealing with the fame, oh, he has this music, oh, he has so much stress, they were going to make excuses for him, but I will not make excuses, I will not care, because when I see him, I see a grown ass man continuing to make these bad choices, a man that was in prison, that got out, got free, got pardoned, and still went out and continued to make these choices, not once, not twice, but multiple times. So I don't believe there's no fixing Kodak Black, right? And I don't believe that no amount of talking to that Wallow can do for him is going to make things change, right? I wasn't touched by Wallow and Gilly talking to Kodak Black and saying that you got those babies. You got those babies. If he cared about those babies, he would act right. If he cared about his life, he would do right. He don't care. That's the thing when you talking to these grown men. Like, we're talking to grown men. We're not even talking to kids. Kids don't listen. So when we're talking to a grown man that's been pardoned, that's been released in prison multiple times and still going out and doing these things, you think he's gonna listen? No, he's not gonna listen. So it's no point of even having this conversation. And when you're talking to somebody that's drugged up, that's perked up, that's on them pills, you think he's comprehending what you're saying? Like, he got one foot in jail. And I hate to say this. I swear I hate to say this. But he got one foot in jail. And he got one foot in the coffin. Because repeated behavior like this, I've seen it before with different celebrities and different people. Repeated behavior like this, it only leads one way. You go to jail because you get caught with these drugs, or you die because of what, detriment these drugs can cause you. So it's like I don't feel sorry for Kodak, but I don't want him to die. I don't want him to go to jail. I don't wish that on nobody. But just looking at this repeated behavior and knowing what happens when this repeated behavior can't be fixed, can't be, thwarted, redirected into another way, it's kind of like I know what happens. I've been living long enough. I've experienced these things. I've seen these things so many times. So, man, prayers for Kodak and his family. I hope he gets well, right? I hope he can beat whatever demons that he's fighting. But sometimes them demons got motherfucking hands and feet. Them demons gonna whoop your ass across that floor. Them demons ain't gonna give up until they have you in the casket. And so he gonna have to do a hell of a lot fighting, for sure. He gonna have to do a hell of a lot fighting. He gonna have to go toe to toe with the devil, to relieve himself of these illnesses and sicknesses and diseases that addiction is. And Pharrell, he had something to say about Drake. Like, he had something to say about Drake being a fan of him. Right? Because Pharrell did basically respond to the Drake hate, to all the things that he was saying, come get his legacy out my house, all the things that he was saying in the beef. And he was asked, did it bother him that Drake said he was going to melt down the chains? And he said, it didn't. No, it didn't. Like, he answered it with a one-word answer. He felt like he was Omarion. He felt like he was very unbothered. Right? And basically, at the end of the day, he said Drake's a fan of hip-hop. So those chains are a representation of hip-hop, of other culture. And so he got those chains because he's a fan of Pharrell. Right? And he did this interview on GQ. He's considered GQ Man of the Year. He's considered the designer of the year. Like, we know what Pharrell has done with Billionaire Boys, you know what I'm saying? Ice Cream, like Babe. We know all that shit that he's done. And Pharrell is a GOAT, production-wise, clips, Neptunes. We know Pharrell is great. And I don't like you popping that shit for real. For him, I inherit the beef. You want to see me pushing P? See you push a T. Like, he deserved to be protected. And I'm glad that Kendrick took that stance. And I'm glad that Pharrell has kind of answered these questions, right? Because, Pharrell, he been busy with the Lego Piece by Piece movie. He been busy with the Louis Vuitton stuff. So he ain't had a chance to kind of like dabble into what Drake was saying about him. But I believe that Pharrell, he heard it all. But at the end of the day, he was unbothered. Right? Because Pharrell, his legacy is here to stay. His legacy is not going nowhere. And nothing that Drake can say or Drake can do can tarnish that. And that's the thing, like, why even go at Pharrell because you got beef with Pusha T, right? Why even, try to undermine his ingenuity? Why try to undermine the blueprint? Why trying to undermine the great? Why trying to undermine someone who's brought so much to this game, that's created waves, that sing shock waves through, hip-hop, that's made a way, that's architect a lot of things, a lot of production, a lot of sounds, just a lot of vibes, a lot of energy, a lot of styles in this game. Like, Pharrell is one of them ones, one of one. Like, was wearing tight jeans before tight jeans was popping. Right? He was always innovative. He always had that ingenuity about himself. So, like, stop talking down on our legends. Like, I just don't like the talking down on our legends, respect our legends. That's why I didn't like what Jake Paul did with Mike Tyson. That's why I appreciate what Cordae did with Anderson .Paak and Lil Wayne. But his performance on that album, I needed a little bit more from him. I mean, I love our legends. I appreciate our legends. I always give my legends my ear. I always listen to what the legends have to say. And we just got to show more love to our legends and hold them up and hold them up to that standard as well. Let them know that they're legends and let them know that they got to conduct themselves as legends, because people can really pull from them and take from them and elevate. And they see them as inspiration. They see them as motivation. Let the legends know that they are loved. Right? Because sometimes they feel like the whole world has forgotten about them. They feel like the whole world is against them. They used to have the whole world in the palm of their hands, and then nobody loves them. Nobody cares. Nobody's praying for them. But, like, we got to show our legends love. And, just that Drake was continuing to go at Pharrell. And Pharrell, he really had nothing to do with anything, but he was just, he was Pusha T's producer. He was Pusha T's and the Clip's main guy. Like, I guess Pusha T said something about 40, and I feel like maybe you felt the way you should feel like you had to go up for real. But it's like all these things in the industry kind of like tie back to Drake. It's crazy. Like, how much like of the bullshit, how much of the childish shit, how much all the lame shit ties back to Drake saying something, Drake doing something, Drake not being a good friend, Drake being just a worm, just being a dickhead. Drake just being like inauthentic. Like, I hate talking about Drake, but it's like everything that he does, like, it's always like wires or it's a web, and all it does is kind of like go back to him, and it's a web of poison. It's a web of toxicity. It's a web of insecurities that he's weaved because he doesn't feel secure in who he has become and who he wants to be in this industry. So I'm going to leave it at that, right? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but I can't be your son as you can't for William Jewell. Giving you my detail. This is articulating. Right.